Hey, Walt here from StogieReview.com with another video cigar review. This time around we are doing a short ashes review on the Drew Estate Undercrown Dogma, which is a commemorative cigar for the 1-year anniversary of Cigar Dojo. And it is based on the Corona size, the Viva blend, and it's basically just sort of a one-off size. I think it's a limited production run. It's only being sold through Smoke Inn down in Florida. You can order them online if they're in stock. From what I understand, they're really a hot commodity right now. They're kind of flying off the shelves. But Drew Estate was kind enough to send me and practically every other blogger 2 of these cigars. And I smoked my first one yesterday when they arrived, fresh off the truck. And this cigar is like a day old as far as my ownership goes. And I really haven't run into a whole lot of problems with smoking cigars so quickly after receiving them. I know that a lot of people feel as though you should wait, a couple of weeks, but I don't care. I've run into very few issues with it, and I've been spoiled. I do a lot of ordering from Famous, and generally it arrives next day. So transit time is usually not an issue in the back of a truck. So I've kind of been spoiled, and I smoke stuff as soon as it arrives. But at any rate, this is a variation of the Viva blend. It is a box press shape that has, I think of it sort of as ovalesque. It's a soft box press, and camera's probably not focusing on it, but it's rectangular in that it's wider than it is tall. And it handles really well. It smokes nice. It looks beautiful. I love the packaging. And I think the price point is about $9.95 per single. They come in limited edition bundles of 10 for about $100. And for a long time I've had a love-hate relationship with the Undercrown lineup in general. I absolutely adore the Liga Privada line. I would smoke them every single day if I could afford them. Unfortunately, they're double-digit cigars, and they're sort of reserved for special occasions. I only buy them when the odd chance that I stop into Cigars International where they're stocked and I have some money to burn. And unfortunately that doesn't happen very often. So a lot of times I pick up the Undercrown as a replacement. I mean, I remember when it was initially released, the story behind it was the guys in the factory made up the Undercrown so that they could continue smoking the blend without taking away from production of the Liga. It was a different priming of tobaccos that were going into the Undercrown, and it was kind of billed as a more affordable and more readily available alternative to the Liga line. And immediately that was appealing to me because, again, I love the Liga line. So I started buying the Undercrown, and I've had a lot of problems with construction. They just have burn issues. It seems like I get just as many bad burns as I do good burns. And it's a very frustrating line, but it's a very tasty line. I'm willing to fight through some of them if it means that I'm going to get that Undercrown flavor out of them. And the Dogma seems to be no different. This cigar seems to be burning really well, no issues, but the one I had yesterday, it was kind of frustrating and funky, and I must have grabbed my lighter at least a dozen times throughout the smoke. But if you can get past those initial burn problems where sometimes the cigar doesn't burn evenly, or sometimes the cigar doesn't burn at all, or sometimes the smoke density is just like wispy thin and very little flavor comes through. If you can get through that, because it's patchy throughout the cigar, it's not like the entire cigar just sucks, it's just sort of patches throughout, you get a really good solid smoking cigar. Now in the Undercrown lineup, my absolute favorite is the Viva, so I was kind of eager to light up the Dogma and give it a try. And so far, I've got to say, it's really good. It's got some spicy components, it's earthy, it's rich, it's oily, it's got some nice power behind it. But one thing I'm finding is that I think I like the Viva better. It's just this cigar doesn't seem to have, I don't know, all of the finesse of the Viva. It just seems almost like it's just kind of cracking you over the head with the flavor instead of giving you that nice little finesse, that soft push of flavors. So it's a very good cigar. I'm enjoying it. But if I were pressed, I think I might pick up the Viva instead. And the other thing that's got me a little hesitant is the price point. I mean, I know that the Undercrown is it runs in the $8 range at Cigars International. Again, that's where I was picking them up by the single. But with this one being limited, it sort of bumps up the price a little bit, and it gets pretty close to Liga pricing. So if it comes down to spending $10 for the Undercrown Dogma, or maybe $12 for the Liga Bovada, depending on what size you're getting, or $14, I may take a real hard look at the Liga instead, just because I think it's a leaps and bounds better cigar. So good, solid cigar, but the price point has got me kind of on the fence. It's definitely something you should try. Hit up Smoke Inn for pricing information, ordering information, all that stuff, because you're only going to be able to get it from Smoke Inn. Again, the Drew Estate Undercrown Dogma.